Hello everyone, welcome to Genix Academy and welcome back to the English language series. My name is Lipsa Nandini and today we're starting with the second topic, that is your subject-verb agreement. So before getting into the topic, let's see what Genix has to offer you all. At Genix, we provide courses for all the competitive exams including banking, railway, SSC, OPSC, OSSC and OSSC exams. There are various facilities as well which include a merit-based scholarship, experienced faculties from Bhubaneswar and Kolkata, access to a free library and also demo classes available for you all. And the new batch starts from 21st October 2024. So hurry up and come join us. So let's start with the topic subject-verb agreement. So what is a subject-verb agreement? So obviously this is an agreement in terms of grammatical number between the subject and verb of a sentence. So, what is a subject-verb agreement? A grammatical number agreement between the subject and your verb within a sentence. Let's understand this better with certain rules. So, the basic rules for your subject and verb agreement. Rule number 1 says, so what did I mean with the term grammatical number is that if there is a singular subject in a sentence, there has to be a verb in a singular form as well. And rule number 2 says, if there is a plural subject in a sentence, the corresponding verb also has to be in plural form. So for the singular subject there has to be a singular verb and for a plural subject there has to be a plural verb. Let's see an example. The dog is playing. So the subject here, the dog, is singular in nature. Therefore, is playing, which is the verb, is also in singular form. This is your singular subject. This is your singular verb. Similarly, if I change this into the dogs are playing. So, as I change the subject into a plural one, the verb has to change into a plural verb. So these are the basic rules of subject-verb agreement. Also, the singular verb usually attaches an S or ES at the ending. Like for example, she studies. So here, as she is a singular subject, studies included an es to the verb. But if I write they study, so when I change the subject into a plural one, the verb also changes. So I hope you have understood this now. Now, after the basic rules, let's see into certain exceptions or certain different cases, or you might simply say that some more rules to the subject verb agreement. The first one is in a sentence where there is quantity or amount being denoted. So, in a sentence or an agreement which denotes an agreement which denotes quantity or amount, what happens there is a singular verb is used. Like, for example, $5 is the price of this chocolate. So now $5 is a quantity or an amount being denoted. So you might say that $5 is a plural subject. Like 5 is more than 1. So you may say that it is a plural subject, but no, 5 is a singular subject because it is a unit, or it will be seen as a one unit. $5 is a one or a collective unit. So we use singular verb here, that is the price of this chocolate. We will not say that $5 are the price of this chocolate, but is the price of this chocolate. Next, exception number 2 is an agreement which includes a compound noun joined by and in a sentence. So a compound noun is a noun which are so intrinsically joined together that will be treated as a one object. Like if I say, for example, I will simultaneously explain you with examples so that you understand. So through the example, I will make you understand what do I mean by this statement. For example, I eat bread and butter for breakfast. So this is a compound noun which is bread and butter. You consider bread and butter to be as one and not two different things or two different nouns here, because it is understood that if there is bread, there has to be butter, and if there is butter, there has to be bread for breakfast. So it is such a compound noun or such intrinsically connected that it cannot be differentiated as two different subjects. So if I give you another example with this, okay, let's take bread and butter and make another sentence with it. Like bread and butter is my favorite. So if I say bread and butter is my favorite, so here bread and butter becomes your compound noun joined by and. So this means this. I hope you understand this now, that when a compound noun is joined by and, this treated as a single object or a one unit and is denoted by a singular verb, that is my favorite, and I will not say that bread and butter are my favorite because this is considered to be one. So we will use a singular verb here. So I hope you understand this now. Let's move on to the next case or next exception. It says when there is use of indefinite pronouns in the agreement. So what do you mean by indefinite pronouns? So there has to be collective nouns again used with indefinite pronouns. Like for example, if I take a word majority, so this is a collective noun or a group of people used or denoted by this word, which is your indefinite pronoun. For example, okay, if I say that the government is the head of the state, so here the word government is a collective noun which is denoted by a singular verb again. Like, so if a collective noun is used with indefinite pronouns, this has to be denoted with a singular verb. I will not say that the government are the head of the state. There might be a lot of people within the government, but the collective noun will be treated as one unit and denoted by a singular verb. Let's move on to the next exception. in certain cases the verb follows the first subject. Like if there are more than one subjects in a particular sentence, but the verb will depend upon the first subject. Again, let's see an example. Here, Parag along with Soumya was invited. So, Parag is your first subject and Soumya is your second subject. 1 and 2. And the verb here is used as was, because the sentence is joined with along with. So, there are certain words or certain conjunctions which joins the two subjects, which will be followed by a singular verb, or the verb will only follow the first subject as per the first subject. So it will not be Parag along with Soumya were invited, it will be was invited. So, similar words like this will include the first, I already told you, along with, as well as, in addition to, and like, unlike, together with, so these are the words which, when used between two subjects, the verb will follow the first subject. Verb follows the first subject, or the verb will be used as per the first subject. If the first subject is a singular one, the verb is singular. If the first subject will be a plural one, then the verb will also be used in the plural form. You can take a note of all these words. So, let's move on to the next exception. This is number 5. So, previously we saw that when the verb follows the first subject, here we will see that when the verb follows the second subject. So again, in certain cases when there are two subjects in a sentence, again certain words used between the two subjects, the verb will be according to the second subject. So what are the words again? These are the words. If these are present, then the verb will follow the second subject. Either or, neither nor, not only but also, none, but. So these are the words again, like either or, neither nor, not only but also, and none but. So any sentence containing two subjects used or joined by these words will be followed, like the verb will follow the second subject. The verb will be as per the second subject. You can note these down and then we will look into examples. Let's see the examples. So usually when the verb follows a particular subject, like in this case the second subject, the verb will be singular in nature. For example, if we say either Tanya or Shipra is working. So here, see, this is your first subject, this is your second subject. It either or is used here and the verb is singular in nature. The verb is singular in nature. Why? Because the verb follows the second subject. So we will not see that both Tanya and Shipra are written here, but we will only consider the second subject which is singular in nature. So either Tanya or Shipra is working and not either Tanya or Shipra are working. So the verb stays singular. Similarly, if I change the sentence using neither nor, neither Tanya nor Shipra is working. Again, I use neither nor. There are two subjects and the verb stays singular because it follows only the second subject. So I hope you understand this now. You can note this down for your understanding. So let's move on to the next exception. In case where the agreement or the sentence starts with each, everyone, or every or each one. So whenever a sentence starts with these words, each, everyone, every and each one, the verb will always be in singular form. The verb will always be in singular form because we will look the subjects as a single unit because of these words, each, everyone, every or each one. So the verb will always be in singular form. Let's look into an example. Each one of them is invited. So I started the sentence with each one and the verb is singular in nature, which is. I will not say each one of them are invited. Each one of them is invited. Similarly, every one of them is invited. So even if I start the sentence with everyone, the verb followed is singular in nature. So whenever we start the sentence with each one, every and everyone, the verb will always be singular in nature. Now, last case or last exception, the use or the usage of and. So there are two cases, like under this we will look into two different cases. The first, when the word will be plural or the word followed by the subject will be plural. Like if two different subjects, subject 1 and subject 2 are joined using and, which are like two completely different things or persons and cannot be considered as a one unit, then the verb will be plural. For example, my friend and his mother are in town. So my friend and his mother are two different personalities and obviously cannot be considered as one. So we will use the plural verb which is are. And next, the second case is a case where we use and but the verb will be singular. Like when I mentioned about compound nouns or two different nouns which will be considered as a one unit, in that case we use a singular verb connected by and. Similarly, like obviously the first example will stay as bread and butter, which will be considered as a single unit and we use a singular verb. Or when in a statement two different nouns are used to indicate a same person, like The sentence says the PM and the representative of the country is arriving. So in this case, both the subjects are used to indicate the same person. It talks about the Prime Minister itself. So here when we use and for both the subjects, it will be followed by a singular verb. So when we use two different subjects which are not connected to each other or different persons or things, we will use a plural verb. But when we use two different nouns which are connected to each other or can be considered as one, the verb will always remain singular in nature. So I hope you understood everything about the subject verb agreement. These were all the cases and exceptions and rules. These are certain questions for you all, which says identify the grammatical errors. So this are the set of subject verb agreements or sentences wherein we have to find out the errors regarding the verb or the subject. The first one says the mother as well as her children were brought to the police station. So like I mentioned, when we use as well as, along with, in addition to and etc., the verb will always remain as singular. So this will be changed to was. We will say that the mother as well as her children was brought to the police station for interrogation. Second, $8 are the price of a movie these days. So when we use or when we indicate a quantity or amount through an agreement, the verb will always remain singular. So are is changed to is. $8 is the price of a movie these days. Next, everyone are selfish. So we just saw that every sentence starting with every, everyone, each or each one will be followed by a singular verb. So are will be changed to is. Everyone is selfish. Next, Annie and her brothers is at school. So Annie and her brothers are two different personalities or two different subjects which are not or which cannot be considered as one. So the verb will be plural in form. Annie and her brothers are at school. Next, either my shoes or your coat are always on the floor. Either is used, either or is used. So the verb will follow the second subject. The second subject is your coat. So this is singular in nature and therefore the verb will also be in singular form. So it will be either my shoes or your coat is always on the floor. So this was all for today. I hope you understood about the topic. For further queries, you can always reach out to us at Genix Academy or reach out to us on our social media pages on Instagram and Facebook. Here are our contact numbers as well. Thank you for your patient hearing and come join us for your better future.